Welcome back to AM Northwest. Okay, is it possible to stump the laundry evangelist? Here to answer some of your tough cleaning questions, we welcome back the author of Laundry Love and House Love, our good friend Patric Richardson. How you doing, Patric?
I'm great. How are you?
Good. Okay, we've got some questions for you. Are you ready?
I'm as ready as I'm going to be. Let's do it.
Okay, so one viewer wrote in, how do I get out tomato sauce stains on my son's white t-shirt after he buried it in the hamper and it set in?
Oh, now come on. Actually, this isn't really that hard.
Okay.
It's just you're going to have to do it in order. So
okay.
First, you're going to spray it with some vinegar and water.
Spray it. Okay.
And then blot it. That is going to lift the oil that's in the tomato sauce. Then take an oily soap. I, swear by stain solution, but you want something oily, put it on, let it sit maybe, 30 minutes, 40 minutes, scrub it in with a brush and wash it, and that will take it out. But you sort of have to do it in that way because the vinegar kind of cuts the oil so you can get to the color. If you just go on it with a soap, the vinegar, we know that oil and water don't mix. So if we don't break through the oil, we can never get to the color.
Right. Okay, I heard you say, oh, come on, was that just too easy, or was it the buildup of the sun leaving it in the hamper?
Leave it in the hamper, let's treat it in the moment, but if not, we got it.
Yeah, gotcha.
It'll still come out.
You can't control the sun who leaves it buried in the hamper.
Exactly.
All right, here we go. What's the best way to get rid of rings around the collar and cuffs of button-down shirts?
Okay, so oily soap again, put it on, scrub it in with a brush, and then when you wash it with oxygen bleach. So it's going to kind of do the same thing. The oil from your neck, the oily soap's going to lift out.
Okay.
And then the sweat, which is actually the color, that's going to come out with the oxygen bleach. So you kind of scrub the oil in to kind of get everything loosened up, and then the oxygen bleach will take it out.
What is oily soap exactly?
So oily soap, the easiest way for me to say it is it's the texture of dish soap. Just don't ever use dish soap.
Okay.
Dish soap is so alkaline that it can wreck the finish of the fabric. So you want that thick, and the reason you want it thick is if you use soap in a brush, which I also happen to love, it's so watery, it just kind of runs through the stain. You want something that kind of sits on that stain, and kind of stays in place.
Okay, but you can just buy something called oily soap at the store?
Yeah,
okay.
Or if you go to the store, if it's not called oily soap, which it might be, if it's not, you can tell just by turning the bottle. You know what I mean? It'll be sort of thick and viscous.
Okay, gotcha.
You want that thick texture. In a pinch, you can actually use liquid hand soap. You just don't want to use dish soap because it's so alkaline.
Okay. All right, our next question is, there are light pink stains from an unknown source that remain on a cotton blouse after soaking a couple of times in oxygen bleach and hanging to dry. Is there anything else I can do? Light pink stains from an unknown source that remain on a cotton blouse after he or she's already done the oxygen bleach.
I am guessing this is actually detergent.
Oh.
Detergent will leave kind of it's a pale kind of pinky color stain. I'm guessing this is detergent. If that's what it is, which I think it is, you can actually just soak it in vinegar and water.
Okay.
And then wash it and the stain will come right out.
Okay. And then what is the best way to launder a structured linen blazer? I'm afraid to try your method of putting it in a laundry bag and washing it in warm on the quick cycle.
If you're afraid, first of all, I'm going to tell you, linen is at its most durable when it's wet. It's twice as strong wet as it is when it's dry. So it's at its most durable when you're washing it. But if you don't want to do that, that's fine. What you could do is you could just lay it flat in the bathtub and just wash it that way. Just use a tiny bit of soap, scrub the spots, and just lay it flat in the tub and, just hand wash it and then drain it and rinse it.
Yeah.
Let it lay there and hang it up and let it dry. I mean, if you're concerned, anytime you're ever concerned about putting something in the washer, I mean, I'm not, but I know a lot of people are, don't ever be afraid to hand wash it. It's totally fine.
Okay. All right, this one is, do you, Patric Richardson, ever wash anything in cold water? Because I know you always talk to us about washing everything in warm.
It's funny, you know, people say you should never say never. I'm making an exception to that rule because here, never. I never, ever wash in cold water. Your detergent or your soap, whatever you're using, won't activate in cold.
Oh.
The industry thinks cold is at least 65 degrees, which to the touch, that feels tepid. If you want to go to tepid, that's fine because we actually determine that as, you know, warm enough to work. But where you are, your water is not going to be 65 degrees. I can promise you on cold.
Yeah.
Mine is not 65 degrees here in Minnesota. It's just not warm enough to activate your detergent. So even though you should never say never, this is one time I'm going to say never.
Okay.
I never wash in cold.
Okay. Do you have a solution for moths? They seem like they're coming out of the woodwork.
Okay, so you know, moths are a beast, and you know,
Yeah.
I mean, I love cashmere. We love cashmere.
Yeah.
So the moth, a couple of things. First of all, the moth doesn't actually want to eat your sweater or your coat. It wants to eat like any sort of dust or dirt or debris that's on the sweater. So if you wash it before you put it away, that helps.
Oh.
But when you go to put your wool or cashmere or whatever away, there are wool washes that actually have kind of a cedar fragrance. You can use those. But the other thing, which a lot of people don't realize this, moths don't like lavender.
Oh.
So you can buy these like lavender sachets. You want real lavender. You don't want lavender fragrance. It has to be lavender.
Real lavender.
But
okay.
you can buy these lavender sachets a lot of different places. I mean, we have a couple of different kinds in the store. But store those in with your wool, and that will help. But really, the big trick is to wash your wool before you put it away because they want to eat the dust. They also actually, by the way, live in the dust on the floor of your closet. So make sure you vacuum the floors of your closet because that will really help repel moths.
Because I've seen like traps, like moth traps that you can
Yeah,
get
and they're
to.
pretty great.
Yeah.
They are pretty great, but they want to live in the dust. So vacuum.
Yeah, makes sense.
You know, if you have a moth issue, kind of, you know, clean your closet, vacuum the floors, maybe wipe down the walls with some vinegar and water, just to make sure.
And then do you have a solution for little ants that this person finds in various places around their house?
It's really funny. I can use a laundry trick for the house trick. Ants hate borax.
Oh.
Yeah, you can sprinkle borax and ants will not cross it. So if you have ants somewhere, sprinkle some borax. It actually kills them.
Wow. Perfect.
Yeah, they take it back. Yeah, you know, it's a laundry thing. We're using a laundry thing in the house.
Yeah.
Fun.
That's perfect. Okay, now this next question is from a friend of mine.
Yeah.
How do you watch latex catsuit?
Oh my gosh, your friends are so much more exciting than mine.
You know,
you can actually wash latex with soap and a brush. You mix it up and wash it. It actually really will work. Latex comes very clean with soap and a brush.
Love it. You're the best, Patrick. We want to tell everyone your books are titled Laundry Love and House Love. Patric Richardson, thank you so much.
Thank you. Thanks for having me on.
You bet. We'll be right back with more AM Northwest. Don't go away.